Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Senator Sifuna.
Chair, there's a key ingredient that is required for us to be able to celebrate some of these small successes. It's first to have people in office who actually believe in devolution. Personally, I know the governor. I campaigned with him. Somebody on this committee was arguing on which party he was elected, and I'm the one who was there. We know how he went around looking for competent people to be elected as MCAs in the assembly. My party is a majority party there. You first need people who actually believe in devolution for them to work and just understand that everybody has a role to play. But the caliber of people that ended up in some of these offices, and you will see when we come to the subsequent meetings, people who had no idea how devolution is supposed to work. They did not believe in it. They think there are bosses there, that when they are summoned by the assembly, they shouldn't show up. And it's a mess. So, Governor, you know what I am talking about. I might have my own issues with the party, but I continue to be very proud of the work that we have done in producing some of the good examples of how devolution can work in this country. And I'm hoping you will come with us in the next journey. Thank you.
The flowers were for the county assembly. Senator Sifuna, you are out of order.
Chair.
We were first dealing with the county assembly. I don't know why you went so quick to the governor. Because the credit goes to the county assembly. The governor is obliged to appear. It is not a favor to the county assembly. But
Chair.
Senator Dulo.
With your permission, Chair.
Governor, just hold on. Don't be too excited. We are coming to your report. Senator Dulo.
Chair, thank you very much. In as much as you told Senator Sifuna that the credit should not go to the governor, some of us, we've been around for a very long time. There are counties that they have a park committee just by name. They don't sit, they don't do anything. And number two, most of the governors are intimidating the county assembly members and even the park committee members. And I must say the Kajiado County is exceptional because I know Governor Lenku has been a friend even when he was here as Interior, but it is a strong leadership from the governor who doesn't intimidate his members of the assembly, that will allow the assembly to do their work and even appear before the Senate and table their report. So I must commend the County Assembly of Kajiado and also the Governor Kajiado County. I thank you.
Okay. Are we done with commending the assembly? Because we are jumping to the executive. Senator Kajwang.
Maybe also, Chair, I also wanted to commend the assembly, the chair, and continue also to commend the assembly. Allow me also to thank the composition of the team that is present here today. I'm happy that the internal audit is also here, which is also part of the team that also feeds the county assembly. So I think as we go into the details of the report of the county assembly, it is important that we commend also the internal audit together with the executive, but more importantly, we're happy with the work of the county assembly chair. Thank you.
Okay, members, I think we have made the point. Mr. Chairman, is there something you want to say before we cross over to the executive?
Yes, Chair. I want my lead clerk at least to explain a bit about the technical part.
Okay.
So that
clerk,
to get the understanding of that question of yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Chair, and honorable members. Maybe just to answer to the issue that was raised by the honorable member in terms of planning to execute the reports on time. It's a matter of planning and working with the required stakeholders and having honorable members who understand their mandate and they are advisable. So basically that's what helped us, and also the stakeholder cooperating, especially working with the Office of the Auditor General, who gave us we wrote to them and they gave us a liaison officer whom we continue working with before even the reports came. So the planning part worked very well, and the county assembly giving the resourceful people required from all departments to be able to interrogate the reports. Thank you, Chair.
We also congratulate the Secretariat because the members cannot do it without a strong Secretariat. We continue insisting that assemblies must invest in clerks, in researchers, in legal counsel, in fiscal analysts. So please, Chairman, carry our congratulations back to the House. I think in the standing orders, there's usually a standing order that allows communication from the Senate to the County Assembly. You can pick the Hansard of today's proceedings and table it to the County Assembly so that it goes on record that the Senate appreciates the industry and the effort of the County Assembly on this matter.
Thank you, sir. I'll do that.
Very well. Now, let's go to the County Executive. We have 3 reports, the Executive, the ROR, and the CRF. Now that the Assembly has done the heavy lifting on the smaller issues, we will, members, as we had agreed, I know there's one issue that is never resolved in any county. That is the issue of trade payables. So let's go straight to the issue of trade payables. We'll deal with that in the Executive and maybe 1 or 2 other issues to do with projects. And then we'll go to the ROR, and then we'll deal, in the ROR, we'll deal with the broader issues around Amboseli, around Magadi, and also look at revenue performance in that year. I think if we took that direction, maybe within the next 1 hour, we should be done with this meeting. So Auditor General, let's go to unconfirmed trade and other payables.
Thank you, Chair. This is the report of the Auditor General on Kajiado Executive, on County Executive of Kajiado for the year ended 30th June 2025. It was a qualified opinion. And confirmed trade and other payables. The statement of financial position reflects Kenya shillings 4,174,866,983 in respect to trade and other payables as disclosed in Note 32 to the financial statements. However, the payables schedule provided for audit review did not provide a movement schedule for the pending payables during the year, indicating the balance brought forward from previous years, additions during the year, bills paid during the year, and outstanding payables as at 30th June 2025. In addition, payables totaling Kenya shillings 18% of the total payables had been outstanding for over 3 years, an indication that the payables were not treated as a first charge on the County Revenue Fund in the succeeding years, contrary to Section 41(2) of the Public Finance Management, County Government Regulations 2015. No explanation was provided for not settling the debts, nor the measures put in place to settle the bills. In the circumstances, the accuracy and authenticity of trade and other payables balance of Kenya shillings 4,174,866,983 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, you could guide us to the page where your response is, because we have not started from the first issue. We have jumped over.
Yes, Chair, we are in page 2, item number 4. Page 2, item number 4. This is the report for the Auditor General on the County Executive.
Okay, so
for the financial year ended 30th June.
You could proceed.
Yeah, Chair, I wish I had a chance to commend the County Assembly of Kajiado, but I will not because I never got that chance. But I just want to confirm that we respect each other's mandates and each party does their bit very respectfully but very professionally.
I'll give you an opportunity at some point to make that comment. So for now, we just focus on the audit issue.
Chair and honorable members, this is basically the pending bill crisis that the country continue to face. And I wish to respond, the management response just at the end of that page 2. 1, a movement schedule for the pending bills during the year indicating the balances brought forward from the previous years, additions during the year, paid during the year, and outstanding payables as at 30th June 2025 was available, and that has been attached for your ease of reference as appendix number 2. In regards to the amount of 812,164,056 being payables outstanding for over 3 years, the management wished to mention that it has been making effort to clear the amount of pending bills every year, giving priority to the pending bills vote on the budget following the first in, first out method as much as possible. However, the management have been facing challenges, especially on financial inflows and revenue downfalls that has hindered the efficient settlement of the account payables. A portion of the amount has been put into consideration for settlement during the current financial year through the approved budget. Chair, if we go to Appendix 2, you will see the pending bills movement schedule, but counties continue to grapple with the issue of pending bills because of a number of things, Chair. Sometimes on-source revenue shortages, remittances from the National Treasury that always come at the last week of the financial year cause all this, but we continue to strive to pay for the services that we procure from Kenyans. Thank you, Chair. I submit.
Auditor General, what's your comment on that response?
Chair, we received the schedules and we shall be subjecting whatever has been paid to audit during the financial year 2025-2026 to confirm what has been paid and what is still outstanding. Thank you, Chair.
Honourable members, I bring your attention to note 32, which has been cited by the Auditor General. And what are these other payables worth 1.5 billion? In note 32. I think that's a question for the county. Could you just explain to us what are these other payables? We are not used to seeing that. That grew from 600,000 to 1.5 billion in a year.
Chair, can I go ahead?
Yes.
The item we are showing as the grand total of 1.5 billion were basically payments made after the closure of the financial year. This is a situation where the financial year ends before the National Treasury releases money for, or released money for May and June. That is totaling to 728,587,241.75 cents. So these were salaries that spilled over into the following financial year due to delays of disbursement. On the same breath, when the remittances for the month were released after the closure of the year, there were money for operation and maintenance that amounted to 388,353 and 834.90 cents as money that again we made payment after the closure of the year. And finally, money for development again for May and June were released after the financial year. So it is the three items: salaries, operation and maintenance, and development payables that came after the financial year resulted in that payment. I submit, Chair.
Auditor, from an accounting perspective, wouldn't salaries be reported under employee payables? Because employee payables there is blank. Is it proper to lump up salaries, operations, development as other payables?
Chair, ordinarily they should be under compensation of employees.
Yeah, because that then does not give us proper visibility on the details of your outstanding payments, because it would look like you owe employees nothing. Is it a fact that there is absolutely no outstanding amount relating to employees, be it pensions, be it gratuities, be it statutory remittances?
Maybe two, okay.
Is it a fact? Because here employee payables is zero. Is that a factual position, that you have nothing outstanding to do with pensions, even defunct local authorities, nothing outstanding to do with gratuities, nothing outstanding to do with statutory remittances?
Chair, that is not a fact. we have pending remittances of pensions and other deductions, so it's not a fact.
Where do we see that in this financial statement? Because one does not need to travel to Kajiado. You just need to look at these financial statements to understand the entity. So where do we see those figures here?
Let me ask my technical team, with your permission, Chair, to do that, because the fact is that we have some of unremitted such deductions. Joshua, let me ask the Chief Accountant to do that.
Thank you, Chair. In respect to the question that you asked about the non-remittance, or if there's anything due on salaries and wages in terms of pensions, as the Governor has said, it is true there are some figures, and maybe by the time of audit, we didn't have the exact position in terms of pensions and other deduction, but majorly the only thing that might remain outstanding maybe is pension, but a bigger part like PAYE, SHA, and all other deductions have been paid. Maybe the only thing, maybe by the end of the financial year, is pension that is due.
Look, my question is this. The Governor is serving his last year in office, and we wish him well in his future political pursuits. A new governor comes in and inherits this financial statement. How does he know that the entity owes employees some amount? Where will he find that information in the financial statements?
He might not find it in the financial statement, true, but after the year has ended, we always have, because the issue of pension has been a recurring issue over the years, even before devolution. Like the county council, it has been a recurring issues that have never been reconciled up to date. So it is true, but we cannot be able to
Officer, give me factual, scientific responses, not political responses. If it's not here, you say it's not here. And you say you are going to reconcile and report in subsequent periods.
It is true.
The governor has said, as a matter of fact, that you owe pensions, you owe some amounts. And we understand. You have reported zero here, which does not provide an accurate picture of the entity. So your job was to show us in these financial statements where we can get that figure. If it's not there, you say it's not there, and we take a view.
Yeah, it's true it's not there, but Chair, we'll make sure that these financial year's statements, we must include the all outstanding statutory that have not been paid or remitted.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
Governor, you cannot not know. You cannot not know how much you owe employees. You cannot not know. Because that must be the first, I believe when you're way back when you're still in the industry as an executive, you would say that employees come first, isn't it? Because they're the ones who deliver service and they're the ones you rely on. You cannot be in a situation where you do not know what you owe your employees. So I think, Auditor General, that's a question you ought to have asked. In fact, that's a question that should have featured here as a very serious non-conformance. Before we even go to what you owe to other service providers. So, members, I think we have had the submission, but Senator Maruma, then Senator Cherargei.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm also looking at the trade payables amounting to 2.6 billion. Have you aged them? Do you have any aging analysis of this 2.6 billion owed to contractors and suppliers? Do you have them anywhere? Have you aged them? Because
Yes, it is.
Requirement from the control budget.
Yes, it has been edged and it is attached there, the edge analysis of 2.6 billion.
You have them here?
Yes, it is in Annex 2.
Annex 2?
Yes.
Okay. Point me to them. Annex 2, page what?
Chair, when you take the file, you will notice some paper separating the pages. So it is the first annexure. After inaccuracies, the next annexure is the one we're calling annexure 2. So you'll see it on confirmed trade and other payables.
Okay, the print is very small.
Financial statements.
The print is very small, but do you have any that are more than you came to office in 2017, before 2017? Do you have any here? Because where you started from the year ending ending 1st July 2024. What about the ones that are before this year, ending June 2023? And the print is so small. You've just started from 2024, July.
Chair, if
July.
you look at page 1, you will see, the edging for the current financial year showing 2022-2023, starting there. Then you go to first year, second, third, it proceeds like that. So you will see at the third column from the top, that we have indicated the financial years.
So how much are the
Yeah,
pending
and,
bills before 2023? Maybe is it possible to know? For the trade and trade payables before 2023, before this schedule. Is it possible to know?
Thank you. Let's go, Chair, to the last page. I am being guided here. We have totals. If you look at the totals, the time you're asking, you will see a figure of 233,859,510. Then year 1, 2, you see 367,081. Then you proceed until now. You'll come and find a grand total showing the 100% at 2.6, 2,649,517, 375 and 75 cents.
So what are the plans to pay the 233 million? Are they verified pending bills, the 233 million, 859,510.89? Are they verified? What are the plans for you to pay these pending bills?
We have a pending bills committee chaired by the head of internal audit, and the verification is a continuous process. While, say, the older ones have been verified, the incoming bills continue to be verified as we move on. So we have a committee that deals with the pending bills verification, Chair. Thank you.
Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Chair. Governor, two quick things. One, I've realized that there was an astronomical growth in your aging analysis, note number 32 or 56%. That is around 2,348,278,933 and 1 year. What were you doing to ensure there is growth? And I've seen there was also another growth in 1 to 2 years of 823,532 to 83, and over 3 years, considering that you are serving your second and final term, 812,164,056. That's 19%. Why was this one an astronomical growth in under 1 year? What were you doing? Are there multi-year projects or what have you? And then over 3 years, this is a pending bill. While I agree counties are struggling with the pending bill, it also kills most of the businesses within our counties. So give me justification on that. I've gone to your next chair that you have provided. That will be my question number 2. I've seen the analysis that you have done here. The payments that you have made and the balance that is there. Pending balance you have said is 1,205,746,902.03, and it comes to grand total of 2,649,517,375.7 shillings. So looking at this analysis, I can see one, the office of the governor, which has 35 million, and then an interesting item there is the county attorney of 340 million, 49,000, 340 million, 49,155. Was this part of the contingent liabilities that is allocated to the county attorney, and why that exponential? That is one of the highest pending bill. What underscores that? I've heard you have the county attorney. My third and final question, Governor, you have responded to the Vice Chair on aging analysis, and you have said first in, first out. My only concern is, what about the amount that you need to pay? Because I can see there are some small amounts of 1,000 shillings, and I suspect these are small businesses. Why were you not being fair to these small businesses of offsetting small? Like I can see in one of your next charts, just an example, being payment of grading and maraming of Bash, Katukukoi, Fountain Road, under Tishol Ventures. That was in the financial year, you have said, analysis of 23-24. They still owe the county only 1,000 shillings. Why don't you offset this small money? Because if you are having small money of less than $1 million, I want to believe these are small kiosk-like businesses, that if you keep staying with them, you are technically shutting down most of these businesses. I've seen 597,000 of Sinlam Ventures Limited, and a number that is below $1 million. Apart from first in, first out, what is the justification that you still even low as low as 1,000 shillings, which you are provided in the aging analysis? Chair, I yield back the mic. That will be my three.
Governor, you may respond.
Thank you, Chair. Please, let me ask the CC Finance to weigh in a little, and Joshua, the head of accounts, to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate the question on why the pending bills are going up, but it's as a result of the county failure to meet the revenue collection, which was actually not able to meet, and also the delay in remittances. But what I can say is on the aging analysis, the 812 million, which was over 3 years, this last financial year, we had a pending bill of around 615 million. And out of the 615 million, 342 million, we actually went to reduce the 3 years and above pending bill in a way of trying to reduce the amount. And also, Chair, what we have resolved this financial year is that we will deal with any pending bill which is 2 million and above and below must be cleared at all costs, so that we allow the small businesses, people, to be able to have enough capital to do business. And also, we are determined to see that we curb the increase of pending bill by ensuring that we introduce a more accurate and robust revenue collection system, which we have actually implemented this last financial year. I can allow my director also to wait on it.
Okay, quick, be very quick.
My question was simple, Governor. Why the astronomical growth of 56% under 1 year? Is it because of dip in revenue? I just need one straight answer for efficiency.
Thank you, Chair. I think a biggest challenge we have in the county is not meeting revenue targets, which resulted to pending bills increasing year in, year out. So that is actually the main reason why there is an escalator of pending bills year in, year out. So I think for me, and I think Governor has already tried to address that issue by having a new revenue system in place. And I think the Director of Revenue she's here. And she can allude that this financial year, the year that just ended, we are hoping that our revenue will go up. And as per the figures of last quarter, we know that the figures in the new revenue system will help us clear some of the pending bills that have been raised.
Are we answering the same question, really? Because, Governor, initially you said the 1.5 billion under other payables was a result of some delayed exchequer release. I thought that would then be the contributor, the major contributor to the growth in pending bills. Are we answering the same question?
Chair, you are correct. In fact, the astronomical bit he's asking about, I thought I'll have my team help me. It looked like they are putting me more in trouble than helping, so I think I'll have to do it myself. Chair and Honorable Cherargei, you can see that from the 1.5 billion that the development money came after the financial year. So automatically that will show that there is a huge increase in pending bills because that money was never expended. So I really think that's really the answer to this looking astronomical, but you can see that immediately after that, then the money was released and the payments were made. But the accounting now will reflect in the next financial year. Thank you, Chair.
And I think to
Senator Morum,
just to answer, Governor, then it is incumbent upon you to show that there was late exchequer release that necessitated this growth of, for example, other payables from 614,821 to 1.5 billion by giving a bank statement that this is what we received after the close of the financial year. And then also give schedules of what has been paid. Salaries, this amount, then you easily answer this question.
You're well guided, Chair.
now I've perused the resolution of the Assembly, and I was asking myself, if the Assembly is the one that does budgets, shouldn't you have made provisions or recommended that a budget be set aside to settle the long outstanding pending bills, especially the ones over 3 years? I think that could have been an additional actionable recommendation from your committee. I've seen, the recommendations that you've made, but I just want to suggest, or maybe the Senate will make those kind of recommendations, but ultimately it is you as members of County Assembly to ensure that there's a budget. Because the debt over 3 years seems to be growing from 673 to 812. And if you owe anyone money for 3 years, it is unfair. It is very unjust. It does not matter what the reasons are. The schedule you've attached here indicates people are owed money for jobs done in 2018, 2019. Why would that be? Why would you have someone looking for money from 2018, 2019?
Chair, let me first of all confirm that every financial year, together with the County Assembly, we allocate what we consider a substantial amount of money into pending bills. 700 million, 800 million, we do it every financial year. But I would like, Chair, to refer to Honorable Sifuna's comment about devolution. We very strongly feel that there is need for a bigger conversation on devolution and how remittances, how money is allocated, and the shareable revenue that goes to county. We have this crisis because the counties continue to receive functions without commensurate resources. We have this problem because some of these grants that are given to counties, the passing, the approval, the awarding, many a time tire those who are supporting the counties. So I think, Chair, while we are well guided about this, there is a bigger need for a conversation about devolution. We continue in this trajectory. In the next few years, we will kill devolution. As long as devolution continue to receive money 5 years behind the current financial year and more in the name of audited accounts, that actually means that counties are getting less than 10% of the entire national budget every year. And so while we have a good number of things to answer here, the pain of the commitment of the country to devolution, and I'm glad you're in Senate because you have been steadfast in fighting for this devolution, continue really to undermine the spirit of devolution. Thank you, Chair.
I would want to encourage, Governor, and we have seen this in other jurisdictions, even in South Africa, which has a fairly similar system or even in the UK, where devolution is now a matter that is a national matter, with the new Prime Minister designate coming from Manchester, coming to be the Prime Minister, he has revived the conversation around devolution. Counties in Kenya are becoming lazy because they know that Parliament shall appropriate and send them money. Most municipalities survive on locally generated revenue. Rates, you have Amboseli, and we shall come to that conversation. If all these things would be optimized, then you don't need to go begging in Nairobi. And I think that's a broader conversation that is not just specific to Kajiado. But I think when we come to the revenue sources, we'll ask how far we have gone with Amboseli. We'll ask how far we have gone with Magadi. We'll ask whether you're optimizing your rates from property, from land, because those would be the sources of wealth for Kajiado. That Kajiado, Nairobi, and a few other counties, Mombasa, would not have to beg or kneel down to a national executive because you've got autonomy through locally generated revenues. So I think it's just a broad conversation, but I feel that governors in Kenya are becoming lazy because they know that year in, year out, Parliament will debate and money will come. And so we are not doing enough to collect locally. But we shall see that when we come to the revenue statements.
I really pray that we don't lose that conversation on Amboseli and Magadi, because while some county functions are called county functions, sometimes the lack of commitment by the national government to enforce on rogue investors completely leave the counties, having their hands tied. Remember, our devolution was watered down when we took away, services like police service and prisons and all those enforcement out of counties so that counties have no such support mechanism. If I may just very quickly go to Magadi, the court ruled, the Senate ruled that Magadi pays the county of Kajiado 11 billion. Magadi found a way to hibernate with the national government saying it is arbitration or it is this court or this is happening. So we are not working in a coherent way as a country between counties and national government, and then rogue investors find an in-between route to find safety. And therefore, I agree with you. Some counties actually have sufficient revenue sources to run their counties. But that aspect is undermining it. I'm sure you have seen Amboseli in the headlines, but we'll get to that conversation when we come.
Okay. Senator Sifuna.
Chair, there's something you have said that is borderline upsetting to me. Whether indeed this system called devolution was not something that Kenyans gave unto themselves and whether it is not a constitutional imperative. Personally, and I'll get into a lot of problems, but we have to say what we have to say.
We all get a lot of problems for defending devolution.
Governor, your problems will be more than mine. I'm just saying.
Let me be the regulator on how much problem it will cause.
Chair, if something is a constitutional imperative, and you have a national executive there, and we've gone through this conversation. For instance, Governor, you raise a valid point. We are still using the audited accounts of 3-5 years ago. I did the math, it is about 500 billion behind, which is denying counties, if you applied just 15% on that, almost 60 billion Kenya shillings, and it will resolve some of these issues. Secondly, there's a question of disbursements in terms of the regularity and predictability of that, disbursement. We have argued in the Senate that that disbursement schedule that we pass is of no use because it's supposed to give governors and county executives some level of comfort that on the 15th of each month we will receive exchequer release. But when John Badi, for instance, comes to the Senate, he says that, that thing is just there as a guide and that Treasury has to look at exchequer and so on and so forth. But we don't hear the same complaints when it comes to national government entities. Somehow their budgets never delay. I've never heard the State House Comptroller, your friend, crying that State House has not received. In fact, the reports we see is that they have actually expended their monies way in advance, 9 months into the financial year. So we have tried to push that argument, Governor, that somehow that national treasury thinks it's a national government treasury, that the priorities of national government institutions actually are higher placed than the county governments. Some of us believe that it doesn't matter which geniuses you have in the county governments. If the national government is out to frustrate devolution, they will do it. And you will find these people sometimes struggling. Just even here in Nairobi, Senator, if you don't know when you're going to be paid, how do you know when you will pay your rent, how your kids will go to school? It is very difficult to plan, which is why we believe, some of us, the solution to devolution, the biggest threat to devolution is at State House, and that's where we're going, so that we can be able to resolve that problem.
Yeah, I think now you're getting into problems. Let Cherargei regulate it.
Chair, you know, in our standing orders, there is what we call relevance. I don't think this committee is a platform for campaigns, but let me leave it there. I know Sifuna has other better forums than using this committee to advance his own agenda, but we will listen to him and we'll answer him in other fora, not here. Chair, my only concern was this 340 million that was in this annex number 2. And Governor, when we'll come to receiver of revenue, I will also have something to say, especially on the issue of Magadi and Amboseli, but I hope when we are on receiver on revenue, Chair, you'll have. But my only concern, if you look at the pending balance as of 30th June 2025, the office of the county attorney was 0. Until some time, they got a pending balance of 340 million for 9,155. And we know the issue of contingent liabilities and legal pending bills. You remember Nairobi, one of our colleagues had a pending bill of 1.1, was it 1.1 billion legal fees? So I really want to understand, Governor, what is it? Because it's the highest pending balance as 30th June 2025 in the year under review. And then there is your office of the governor was nil until it appeared with 35,004,479. Give us the justification. And what we call County Public Service Board at 000 until it appeared with 30,382,667. That will be re-emphasizing what the justification of this growth. Secondly, I don't know whether I heard your CCM that on the settling of pending bills below 1 million, it should be given priority. In as much as they might be the aging analysis that has come from different year. Finally, I've heard your reason is on delay exchequer releases and shortfall in revenue. I don't know, you know, it's hard to tie up since we have not gone to receiver of revenue. But I thought the budget is based on the planning and program based in the budgeting. So that if you know you are giving a project, you give with the resources that you have. And that is why there was this issue of EGP. And we were arguing that you cannot procure without having resources. So what do you have to say about that? On the issue, finally, Chair, while I agree counties are struggling with pending bills, I know that it's approaching 200 billion. The Constitution is very clear, Article 219. When money is passed, it should be released without undue delay. And you remember the former CS Ukuri Yatani, we had to censure him in the last session for delay, your former colleague Ukuri Yatani. So it is a constitutional issue. But on the issue of latest audited accounts, I think as a parliament we should blame ourselves because it is the National Assembly who does that job. It is not you as the governors or as the Senate. So we should blame ourselves, especially our colleagues in the law house, of the latest audited accounts. Because you have to appreciate one thing, by the way, let me add this. Us in the Senate chair, and you are aware, we were pushing for more than 450 billion. It is after the member of ODMSG Sifuna went and decided that the counties must be given 428 billion. And they were adding 1 billion each, 1 billion after every time. So I think we have a broader. Saying...
You are making a very good point, but I think you're losing it.
I'm saying as a
with
Senate,
that reference to ODM.
I'm saying the member of Sifuna because he's still the SG unless he resigned. So the point I'm trying to make is that... because I heard him saying former party when he was congratulating the MCS or former. So, Chair, what I'm trying to say, let us leave that one, ignore that, Chair, is as a Senate, we have really tried to ensure that there is enough resources for counties. But the question is, even if we allocate, is it viability of getting your own money in good time to ensure you expend before the end of financial year? I think that's the conversation you should advise your colleagues, especially when you are COG retreat, so that we can have a united force to make a better devolution. So will be my three questions.
I think you asked specific questions on growth in the county attorney, the governor's office, and the county public service board. I think let's just deal with that, Governor.
Thank you, Chair. Let me ask the county attorney who is here to speak into that. And sorry, how does he step out? Sorry, Chair. I will ask Parsita to take up the governor's office and county public service board. Quickly.
Yeah, please, because members, we are not doing very well in terms of time. Yeah, please just state your name again and your designation, then.
Thank you, Chairman. Richard Parsita, Director Internal Audit. The question was,
do you need to be reminded of the question?
Yes.
But why are you standing if you don't know the question?
I've had the issue of zero balances and then open and then again growing balances. Because I think when you are checking on the schedule.
Governor?
Chair, we are lost. I'll leave Parsita alone. Joshua and I will take the questions quickly. Yes.
Well, Chair, about the issue of pending bills that have been asked about the governor's office and the public service board. I mean the public service board. Normally, these are not development current bills. It is current bills occasioned by the operation and maintenance that the county runs. And for example, the office of the governor does some of the functions, and because of the shortfall in our revenues, and we're not able to pay up the operation and maintenance as has been procured, that occasioned the escalation of pending bills under the current expenditure. So whatever you see there in that schedule is as a result of the operation and maintenance expenditures that have been procured, and the county is not able to pay it in full, given the reasons of shortfall in revenues and exchequer releases coming late at the tail end of the financial year. So about the legal, let me give the county attorney to say.
Yeah, please, very precise, direct answers.
Thank you, Chair. My response is very clear. The fee or the amount that was pushed to my office does not belong to, is not a fee note or legal fees. That is a contingent liability that the county government inherited from the defunct local authority.
Those are contingent liabilities?
Yes.
So they should not be trade payables?
They are not, because someone was asking, I think the Honorable Senator for Nandi was asking whether that is the scenario that appeared in Nairobi. We have not had a budget of legal fees that exceed 100 million. So that is a contingent liability belonging to the famous Kilimanjaro case, the hotel that is in Amboseli that became a swamp. And the first county government did accept it as a liability. And that liability should not have borne by the county government. It should have been part of the liabilities that were...
County attorney,
yes.
County attorney.
There is nil in contingent.
There is a schedule that you have attached. And on that schedule, there is a long list of fee notes where it is not paginated, but members, if you go through the last schedule before you go to Annex 5, you'll see a long list of fee notes, provision of legal services, There is one legal services to Beacon Cherargei and Company Advocates, Kajiado High Court petition number 2 of 2019. It's clearly indicated as a fee note of 207 million. So you can't have this listed as a fee note and then you deny it and say they are contingent liabilities. Are these actual liabilities that have matured, or these are still matters pending determination?
Chair, and in addition, so that he can answer, but looking at their financial statements, they have not disclosed the contingent liabilities.
Yeah, so let's agree that what we are looking at are these contingent liabilities, or these are mature obligations, because those two are different.
Thank you, Chair. I didn't have this column of the reporting, but what I can tell you is our legal fee budget for the year has never exceeded 100 million every year.
So
what we have here, we have.
Attorney, I'm sorry, with a lot of respect.
Okay.
What we make of this schedule, because it has been submitted to us, tabled by the governor,
Okay.
I believe in good faith, to indicate the situation. And you've got one page, a full page of fee notes. If you add it all up, a quick summation will bring it to probably 300 million.
And I can also agree that fee note could come up to that amount.
Yeah.
But every time we pay a fee note, we don't exactly pay what they ask for. It has to be itemized, and there is a schedule I submitted to finance, so maybe this one will clarify the issue. I submitted pending obligations we have in terms of lawyers who have offered services to the county. I also submitted a list of taxed bills. By the time the lawyer taxes a bill, you have fallen out, the relationship, and the bill has been taxed. But there were, I think, around 60 million.
So what are the outstanding mature obligations from the legal, arising from legal fees?
They could be more than 400.
More than 400?
Yes.
And contingent liabilities? The matters that are still in court?
Contingent liabilities could go to maybe more than 500.
Of course, I think Senator Cherargei has indicated that that has not been disclosed in the financial statements. Did we make that disclosure in the financial statements on contingent liabilities?
Chair, looking at the financial statements, they have not disclosed even in page 50 of the original certificate.
Auditor General, was there disclosure on contingent liabilities?
Chair, there's no disclosure.
Okay. Governor?
On the contingent liability, Chair and honorable members, we have one long outstanding dispute between the county government and a company.
No, sorry. Without going to the details, was that disclosure made in the financial statements?
I think it's not captured here.
It is a requirement. It is a requirement that contingent liabilities should be disclosed.
Okay.
The way I asked earlier, how would another governor know that these are the matters that are still pending in court? They can only know if it is disclosed in the financial statement. So that needs to be done. Now, coming back to the question on pending bills, I think the attorney, you confused us by saying that what we are seeing are contingent liabilities, and yet they are listed as fee notes that seem to be mature and that seem to be outstanding for payment. Could you just tell us in totality how much in your 4 billion pending bills relates to legal fees and awards, Governor?
I agree earlier on, Chair, that we normally make a provision for pending bill payments to every financial year for 100 million. And I also concur that what we are seeing there is a list of due payment for legal services provided for. Possibly, I'll not be able to say precisely or with precision the figure itself, but we have a number of unpaid legal services. You know, some are still disputed, some have been agreed upon, and some keep coming. As you know that in Kajiado we have quite a bit of a tussle with regard to lands and many issues. So the list we are seeing are for legal services not honored. So the cure will be to allocate more money into that vote. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Cherargei, so that we move out of this matter.
Yes. Looking at the time, in conclusion, Chair, I think the governor can disclose how much, whether the contingent liability and legal awards. But this is a material non-disclosure in financial statements. Chair, and I've gone to see who signed off this financial statement, a gentleman called Sangaire Tima. I hope he's not related to our own Tima. He's a chief officer of finance and was signed off by, unfortunately, he doesn't have an ISPAC number. I don't know which profession he is, Tima. Your chief officer, is he still with you, Governor? Sangaire Tima?
He's with me. He's not here, but he's the chief officer for finance.
Is he a member of ISPAC?
No.
Okay. Which profession is he, if you don't mind?
He's not a CPA, but he's a finance person.
He's a finance person. Chair, it was also signed off by CPA Joshua Machakusi.
He's here.
Or the gentleman seated next to you, Director of Accounting Services, ISPAC number 12128. You are a chair, maybe so that I yield back the mic. Bwana CPA Joshua, you agree with me that this was material non-disclosure by not disclosing the contingent liabilities through the chair?
Yes, but...
No, don't use but.
I'm saying but because you can only disclose contingent liabilities if you have provided details of the disclosure.
Chair,
So from the accounting...
For efficiency of time,
yes.
We are, they say numbers don't lie. Let's just what is there.
Yes.
You agree with me, this entity has contingent liabilities?
It has.
Review.
It has.
You didn't disclose?
We didn't disclose, but we were not...
Not but, I'm using what is there, the evidence.
Okay, it was not disclosed, but we can be able to disclose this financial year.
Chair, no. What I'm asking, Chair, if you allow me, you didn't disclose, which is, you have agreed. So you agree as a profession you fail in your duty?
No, I didn't fail my duty. You can only provide disclosure in the financial statement to the extent of the information given by the relevant department, like the county attorney. If I've not been given that there's a county liability that is due or that is going to be placed.
Order. We will not take that direction. Even here in Parliament, there's something we say, we take judicial notice of events. You cannot give that argument. Note 42 in the financial statement, in the template provided by the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board. Note 42 has even given you the table there for you to disclose contingent assets and contingent liabilities. And there's a table for contingent assets, and below that, contingent liabilities. You went through it and put it at 0. So I think sometimes it's important to own up when you have messed up as a professional. You don't need to defend the indefensible. And just make sure that in the audit that we are going into, those contingent liabilities that have been cited by the county attorney are disclosed. Governor, I hope we are on the same page.
I agree with you, Chair, and we have actually every time had it in our accounts. We have discussed not once the issue of the contingent liability with that Kilimanjaro law thing in Amboseli. So I am also taken aback about it, and we will make it good by reporting it.
Fine. Members, we need to get out of this matter.
Chair,
and
because
if you don't manage time, we still have other meetings.
Chair, I think maybe you woke up very well today on the right side of the bed, because naturally, when a profession commits a professional offense or professional error, the consequences follow. So maybe the CEO should be warned that this material non-disclosure normally attracts some punitive measures from the committee, and I think they should be aware, any profession that accompanies the governor, so that they don't allow the governor to be like Jesus Christ, of carrying all the burdens of people who are not doing their job.
Okay, you just spoke ahead of me, because I was going to summarize our resolution on this. There was an earlier indicated non-disclosure of staff payables, which we have agreed that you must provide clarity on the exact amounts owed to staff. That was a material non-disclosure. And the issue of contingent liabilities is also another material non-disclosure. Members, I think we must take a resolution to the House that no county should carry debt older than 2 years. Because under what circumstance would a county owe someone for more than 2 years when every year religiously we pass the division of revenue and every year we pass CARA? Why should counties sit with debt over 2 years? And this is a conversation we must have with the Treasury. And I know that there's been a proposal that maybe pending bills should be paid centrally at the National Treasury. The governors will say we are clawing back on devolution, but they're also not doing devolution a favor because they're receiving the money and not paying service providers. Auditor General, you must also question compliance with Regulation 25(1)(d) of the PFM County Government Regulations. When we looked at the report of CIA, you did a very good job because you queried the debt to revenue ratio in CIA and referred to that Regulation 25(1)(d) that says the county public debt should never exceed 20% of county total revenues at any one time. You know that exists in law. It exists in regulation. What Kajiado is carrying is more than 50% of its total revenue. As we are saying that the cash disbursement is not a suggestion, the regulation should also not be a suggestion. So auditor, we would expect that you'd be querying the debt to revenue ratio for all the county governments. Because we put it there, we put it at 20%, we are questioning the national debt to revenue ratio, but we are not questioning the county debt to revenue ratio. In fact, I think if we put all that in totality, we'll realize that Kenya is doing very badly. So maybe in this year's audit, Patrick, please tell all your regional directors to report on that particular metric.
Well guided, Chair.
So we will look at this in greater detail in the coming financial year. Due to limitations of time, we can leave that matter on trade payables and perhaps deal with one other matter on the executive. And maybe just to illustrate what I'm saying about debt to revenue ratio, there are also other ratios that have been queried there in your report. Development expenditure threshold, which do not look very good. Your employee costs to total revenue is almost 50%, isn't it, Governor?
About 40.
Because I can see you are spending 4 billion on employees out of a revenue of 8 billion. So that's 50%.
Yeah, it's still not very tidy. It's not 50%, but it requires to be worked out.
What you're putting in development is only 22% of the total expenditure.